All right, everybody. Well, welcome to our Wind Down Wednesday, or
Throw down Thursday because we're throwing down the nuggets.
so funny story. I had a call with a friend. She's a client. She's all the things, and I said I've got to hop on for a Zoom, and she said, "Oh my God, are you doing Throw Down Thursday?" I was like, "Holy crap, that's like the best thing I've ever heard." So thank you, Kelly Huff. That's amazing. We'll take it.
So today, in honor of you, this is our Throw Down Thursday.
Love it. Oh my gosh. All right, so
What are
we
we throwing down today?
Well, I think we organically had something happen today, right? That brought up a topic.
Yes.
I'm gonna share because I could feel your blood pressure up a little bit when we logged on this
Well,
today.
it's
Mm,
just when I think maybe clients, agents, we can't see the forest through the trees, right? And we get so locked in on one thing that we're forgetting the big picture.
mhm.
And how do we, as representatives of our clients, not get sucked into that? How do we get them out of that, and just stay on the bigger picture? Because as most days with real estate, you think you're going to do one thing and then you do another, right? I try to protect my time and try to break out my time. So I was here today thinking I was doing this, this, and this, and oh no, that's not what happened this afternoon.
You did D,
And it's,
E, and F. Yes.
oh my, it's just getting in that. So, and then I can find myself in it and I'm like, what is happening? No, this is not what I need to do. So, I don't know. We just felt like there were so many different scenarios. And, this scenario is we're closing on Friday. We're going to get to closing. So today's, Wednesday, or
CD
Thursday.
goes out, right? So we're looking at those and we're
Yeah, we're looking at the CD, and it's the little things that all of a sudden are becoming very, very big. And it kind of took me by surprise a little bit because it really hasn't been that way. And I'm like, we are closing on this property on Friday so that you can then go to they've already, bought their next property and what they're doing and moving out of the country and all such exciting things. And we are just using a lot of brain space. It's the brain space at my age that just is fragile.
well, to provide a little additional context here too. So this is a several $100,000 property, right? So not to get into too many details, but around 300,000 ish.
Yeah.
And we're down to talking about $75, right? And it's become a big thing, and it sometimes happens in real estate transactions. Like you said, like we've negotiated repairs, we've negotiated the purchase price, we've negotiated warranties, all those big ticket items, and we come down to the last little piece, and we get a little sideways on $30, $50, 75 in this case. So it can happen, right?
Ooh, it can happen. And it happened today.
Yeah.
So it's just, but then I have to be like, okay, let's backtrack here. And because again, they're hiring us as advisors, right? They're hiring us to keep all the emotions out of a situation. I get it. I think it's just been the back and forth and last minute stuff, and they're ready, they're done, right? And
Yeah.
they want to be done just as
Control.
much. And so I need to take a pause and feel, um, feel like I can have that conversation with my clients. Let's take a time out, right? I think some of us get afraid to say, let's take a time out and say to him, this is not a big deal in the grand scheme of things. I'm not saying $5 is a lot of money. So I'm not negating the amount of money that it is. But to your point, when we've already negotiated much bigger ticket items and gotten through repair requests, um, I just I think it's a great skill for us to have, and to be able to have the confidence to, number one, recognize that we are going down this rabbit hole with them, and this is not where we belong.
Right.
And then number two, how do we articulate in a respectful way, we're in a rabbit hole that we don't need to be in.
Right. And I agree with you. I think our role on this, like, it's not to put a sign in the yard. Really, I think our biggest job in all of this is trying to help, I guess, organize and manage the emotionality of a
Mm.
transaction. And so it's easy to kind of get in the trenches with them sometimes, right? Like, I know, and that's dumb. I hate that HOA increased that rate. That's not right. And so we get fired up for them. And not to say we don't need to get fired up for them, because we do. We've got to fight for them. But at the same time, it's right. It's on the CD, it's correct. And so we can't really change it because no one's really wronged anyone here. It's just facts. So let's just kind of get over that initial that hurdle there.
Well, and I think you hit the nail on the head. It's we sometimes immediately go from this is wrong, somebody's out to get me. I'm like, nope, nope, that's not happening. So let's look into it. Yes, they increased it. No, you were not notified, but we're closing on Friday.
Yes.
So, and the contract says that seller pays this, right? And so, just trying to, it's sometimes it can be hard when they get emotional for them. I want them to feel heard and that I'm on their side, like, right, be on their side. Like, we get so afraid that whatever we say is not going to feel like it's on their side. But sometimes, they've hired us to tell them what they need to hear. And sometimes what they need to hear is not what they want to hear.
Mm-hmm.
And then they might react. And then that's just us practicing to not take that emotion in, let them react. And then 9 times out of 10, anytime anyone's really reacted, once they've calmed down, they've either brought it up, apologized, or just said, oof, I was pretty hot there. I'm like, yep, you were. And just, our job is, which is hard, is to not take it personally. Yeah. And not to be afraid it's going to, ruin a relationship and so on and so forth.
Yeah. So I think this concept of forest versus trees applies in a lot of aspects of life too. And I do think part of it has to do with personality types too. I think some of us just lean more into the weeds and some people have that ability to just kind of 30,000 view all the time. Mm-hmm. And so you kind of have to, there's a little bit of self-awareness around that. But I think the bigger picture here in the conversation is the potential missed opportunity sometimes. I think when we get so bogged into all the details that we literally just, and I'm guilty of it sometimes too, right? Of being reactionary. Like, it's easy for you today to get kind of pulled into the drama of that transaction, right? Mm-hmm. Instead of pulling yourself out. And we sometimes get agents, right? We talk to them about maybe joining the team or doing other things or making a change for themselves, whether it's with us or someone else. And commonly it's interesting to me. It's the 2 I've got under contract. It's the, oh my gosh, I don't want to change my email address. How do I upload my Sphere into a new CRM? And you're just like, okay, I hear that, right? I hear the fear. I think it's the emotional part of it, right? That's the reaction, and it's coming out in these little details. But when you step back, you go, girl, I can import your database in about, I don't know, 5 minutes in Sierra, but I get it, right?
Oh, absolutely. And I wonder if sometimes it's a little bit of and I guess it depends upon every situation, but it sometimes is that defense mechanism, or it's that way of talking ourselves out of doing something that we know is good for us in the long run. But that immediate pain of it helps us and helps our mind go, no, that's a terrible idea. Don't do that, because now you have to get an email address and now you have to tell people that you've done this and now you have to go here, right? No, we're not doing that. That feels very uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. And then you can't get over, right, the tree through the trees to see the forest of possibility, to see once you do get your email set up and your CSV file, because now I know how to do that for the record.
I mentioned that today because she's been living in CSV files for some indication.
CSV file and Flowdesk. I will, side note, really truly like Flowdesk because I find it not user friendly, and it absolutely could be user error for the record, but anywho, side note on that. But yeah, and just listening to the reasons why somebody won't make a change, the reasons why somebody won't have a conversation, the reasons why somebody doesn't do anything. It's more so that immediate right now today, right? And if you can almost put yourself on that 30,000 feet, right? So as real estate agents, to our clients, and as team leaders of a company and as a team, it's like getting here with them and hearing them, right? So I really want everyone to be heard, but then coming back up here and going, okay, in the grand scheme of things, where are we right now, and how does this how is this really going to impact our business?
Yeah.
Or is it going to impact our business? And if it's not, then, have your moment, but then let's move on.
We talk a lot about questions too, and I think you
Mm,
were hitting the nail on the head, and Elizabeth Riley, I think, did such a great job at one of our
mm,
conferences yesterday about talking about just questioning and getting down to intent, right? And understanding why people are processing or thinking in a certain way and giving them that safe environment to kind of think that through. So listening to that yesterday and then some other things that have just popped up, it just made me hyper aware of when people are pushing back. It is a fear factor. They are scared maybe, but maybe helping them self-explore that a little bit more and uncover why and how we can handle those objections. It's not really about the email address. It's not really about the CSV file.
mm.
It's something much bigger than that. It's just manifesting in that way. So anyway.
I love that it's not about the CSV file and the email and me being
It's not about the
frustrated today
$75.
wasn't even about that. It was just that he didn't know what my to-do list was today, right? But that's what needed to be done, and that's what I needed to go, and that's where what needed to happen, right? So now it's kind of coming out of that, going, okay, that's exactly what was supposed to happen today. They feel better. We're going to close on Friday. We're closing on Friday. Keep telling the universe. And that's what needed to be done and not what else I thought I was going to do. The other thing about Elizabeth Riley that got me thinking, being gone all day at that event and not being able to respond maybe to some emails and some texts as quickly as perhaps maybe I would have normally if I wasn't at an event, was I'm really trying to figure out too, when I get an email or get a text that feels a little bit of an emotion behind it, or thinking that, what's the reason for this? Is it really about this? Is really giving myself permission to not respond immediately.
Mhm.
And I'll read, I've been getting in the habit, especially if it's later at the night, there's that sleep study where you can tell like, are you a bear or a dolphin or a wolf? Have you seen that? Like, when's your really good time to work? Are you like really good in the morning? Are you really good at night? Have you done that?
I haven't done it.
Have
Maybe
you
I
heard that?
need to
Okay.
do.
I've done it. I don't forget if I'm the dolphin or whatever, but I'm basically like, if you want a really good answer from me, it's first thing in the morning, right? And then my decision making gets worse as the day goes on.
Begins to wane.
I was be like, you might want to text Pam. But
That or
anyway, so our agents who are listening to this, if you're listening to this, I'm your girl from about 8 a.m. to about 2 p.m. After that, you might want to text
because I'm usually sitting there with my laptop anyway.
and I'm there, but I'm not. Anyway, it just doesn't. Whatever.
I gotcha. Yeah.
But anyway, so if I see an email and I'm like, oh, it gets me fired up. I'm like, oh, my client's fired up. I read it and then I really try to just, you're going to have such a better response. And I did that last night because this has been going on since yesterday. And my response this morning was so much better than it would have been had I reacted immediately and reacted into that emotional email. Right. And I just gave better service this morning. And so we're so quick to lead into whatever. And what I've also been doing is there's something going on. And so it's just like, I'll text, I have your text. I need a few minutes before I can call. So I've responded to them so they feel like they've been heard, but then that gives me a little bit of space to be able to really think about how I want to respond.
I think that's actually like a really tactical, good technique to do that, to kind of get yourself out of the weeds sometimes. Is if you're so emotionally involved in it at that particular moment, you're right. You are in the weeds, you are in the details. And so you may need to kind of pull back up in order to really find the best solution. So no, I think that's a really good tactical thing when we find ourselves getting like emotional. I remember an agent like years ago, there was a problem with the house. If I said the detail, I'd probably tell too much. But they went through a walkthrough and there was a lot going on in this house. So it wasn't going to close. It was like really tragic. And so she called me and she was like screaming at me. Not that she was mad. She was just, there's water everywhere. Like she was just like, she was in it, right? She was so emotional. My first question to her was, are you beside your clients?
Great
And
question.
she said, I am. I said, remove yourself, walk away. I was like, because they're going to pick up on your energy, right? That's not what they needed from her at that particular moment. Look, girl, the situation, I understood why she felt that way because it was water everywhere. but that was not going to serve her client well at that particular time. In fact, it was just adding gasoline to a situation. So
100%.
love that.
And we can do that. And again, it goes back, we talk a lot on these Throwdown Thursdays. Y- Remove just having self-awareness, right? And taking a step back from that. And how am I coming into this conversation? How am I coming into this role? How am I showing up? And that's really hard. People talk about, we're not real estate agents, we're therapists and counselors. And part of that is that we have to sometimes, put aside our, oh shit, there's water everywhere feeling, which is a very valid response for the record.
Oh my God.
But then it's that, okay, but what are we going to do to fix this? Right. Because we also are problem solvers.
Yeah. And it wasn't to like dismiss what was going on at all. That's not it at all. She needed to have a reaction, but then the reaction to where the client says, all right, now we got to figure out this situation's happening.
Correct.
And me being upset and screaming and crying, and we got to figure out what's next, what's our way forward there. And
absolutely.
Yeah, we got some stories.
Right
out there. Woo!
I know. It's like, we're like, what's going on? The full moon, I think, was already gone. Maybe the eclipse.
The eclipse
has made things a little fuzzy. People are just not quite, me included.
Agreed. I'm a little fuzzy too.
Yeah. So we just kind of felt like today was a little bit more of, have you been, in the weeds of things that maybe you don't need to be? Because what I also find, those weeds is what is the biggest energy and brain suck.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's just, it's 5, whatever. And I'm just like, man.
It is why you get bogged though. Because
yes. And then you don't have the real good creative juices that you want for the things that you really want to work on, or that are that 30,000 level that's going to help the business, help your clients. And you have nothing left. And I can see myself getting there, and I can see it depleting, and it's like, okay, you got to get out of this. We got to flip the switch here, because you're going to be useless come 7 p.m. tonight, because you're going to have used so much energy. So just find yourself, when you're talking to other agents, especially other agents too, on the other side of a transaction, if you're making a big change, if you're making a big move, don't let, is it fear getting you in the weeds? Because fear is really good at that. And also being able to show up for our clients and not being afraid to be like, I hear you. I want to honor what's going on, but maybe we can look at this from a different perspective. And again, at the end of the day, that's really what they're looking at us to be, that solid piece. Yes. To it. So
take a deep breath, y'all. It's the best advice someone gave me when I started in sales, is literally take a deep breath. No one will notice, and you'll catch yourself sometimes. So take it. It's all good.
Absolutely.
Take 5 minutes. Go for a walk.
Oh, I needed this. I feel good. Okay. I'm good. Thank you for this little session. I need this little session. So get it out. Get it out. Did I tell you that we're closing on Friday? Come hell or high water.
On Friday. Stay tuned for updates.
Exactly. Well,
with your new GIF. I think that'd be cute.
Well, I have to send it to them because they're already gone. I got to mail it to them. Anywho, Pam, thank you. I needed this one. This was a little sesh for me.
At home.
Oh my gosh. All right. That's all I got for today. What about you? We're good, right?
That's it. I'm good. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Peace out.
Bye.